Ultimate is coming to a new age, a much more commercialized one, but still an exciting one. New and old Ultimate companies alike are trying to bring focus to the sport, which is a good thing. The Ultimate community was recently surprised when one of these new organizations, Major League Ultimate, made the decision to not go with the disc standard to the industry, the Discraft Ultrastar. Now, Discraft has had the entire disc market cornered since 1991 when the UPA, the Ultimate Players Association, now known as the USAU, made it the official disc of Ultimate. Instead, the MLU is going with Innova and their newly designed disc model, the Pulsar. Now, Innova bagged an exclusive 2-year deal with the MLU. When this was announced, Innova said that they had been looking for a way to break into the Ultimate market for some time. That, according to the MLU press release. My curiosity was piqued when they made the announcement. Discraft is extremely good at making discs. How does Innova hope to compare? So, with the MLU just recently launching their inaugural season, I wanted to make this video comparing and contrasting the trusted old standby with the new disc on the block. Okay, so initial thoughts. The Ultrastar is tough on the edges, but still has that signature soft plastic feel, especially when you're attacking the disc. The face of the disc is malleable and pretty thin compared to the thicker outer ridge. The Pulsar follows those guidelines pretty strictly, except for the rings on top are a tiny bit closer to the outside edge. The face is much thinner than the edge, just like the Ultrastar. But I actually read a statement on the MLU website that claims that the Innova Pulsar is more stable in the air than the Discraft Ultrastar. The Pulsar's edges aren't as soft feeling as the Ultrastar's, and overall it actually feels a little stiffer. The inside edges on both of the discs actually feel like they come from the same mold, but the Innova just feels a little more plasticky. And when you get to the inside lip, the inside edge that leads to the bottom face of the disc, it's much more distinguished line than that of the Ultrastar. The Pulsar also feels a little deeper compared to the Ultrastar. In fact, it just feels bigger all around. It's kind of like an NBA ball compared to a WNBA ball. The differences are slight, but one is slightly bigger than the other. So to test that, we're actually going to do a volume test. Alright, so that was fun. It ends up, the Innova does hold more water. It holds about 58 ounces, the Discraft holds about 56. So if you were to break that down, the Innova holds about 4.83 cans, 12-ounce cans of soda, and the Discraft holds about 4.66 cans of soda, 12-ounce cans of soda. Discraft's website says that their disc is 10.75 inches in diameter, while Innova's website states that their disc is 27.5 centimeters across. That equals exactly 10.8268 inches, making the Pulsar a bigger disc overall. So this next portion of the video, I actually took the discs outside and talked to 2 beginner players and 2 experienced players. Let's see what they had to say.
It's definitely a wider edge. It's a deeper edge, and I thought that I would have to get a little bit adjusted with my fingers.
The very first time I could definitely tell that the rim was deeper. That's about it. I mean, it feels like the weight is more like on the outside of the disc as opposed to distributed through.
I noticed the grip was completely different from the other disc that I was using earlier. It took up more area of the disc, and I liked that.
I liked it. It had a nice grip, pretty wide, and it felt like it had more to hold on to.
Yeah, I think that because the weight might be a little bit more towards the edge, I thought that it held its curve a little bit better on those inside outs and the outside ends.
I didn't really notice much of a difference releasing it. I mean, my hands are smaller, I think, than most people's hands because I'm short.
It felt really straight and level. It flew pretty smooth in the air. I noticed that.
You can definitely notice that it might even give you a little bit of a better grip just because there's more to grab onto.
Well, it's funny because I thought it would be harder to catch the disc because of the rim being so deep, but it actually gave me more to grab onto, like especially up high. So it seemed like it fell into my hands more.
When I pancake catch, I think there's a little bit more of a noticeable impact here on the inside of your wrist.
Only when I was throwing I felt the difference. I really thought how the disc travels more from the edge to the face, how it has more of an arc, I guess. I thought that was kind of cool.
So you think that one's a little more rounded on
Yeah, it definitely is, until it gets to the face, of course, where it's completely flat.
It felt easy to huck the disc, and it actually, I felt like it was going farther than when I normally throw a regular disc.
Somewhat balanced differently, so I can hold it and it feels easier to catch and release.
I could definitely get used to throwing this, so I don't know that I would prefer one or the other.
I've played with the Discraft probably for a longer period of time now, so I'm still a little bit biased towards that, but I can definitely see that if this was a disc that was randomly played in the middle of a point, I don't think that I'd even be able to notice the differences there.
After throwing with those guys, I caught up with a couple Portland Stags players at a team workout to see what they thought of the new disc.
Initially, I thought it was going to be pretty different. You know, I thought MLU going away from Discraft was a pretty bold move.
Using Discraft since it came out, and over the last 20 years, that's what we got accustomed to. This version that we're using now, amazing.
When I actually started throwing, I was surprised how quickly I forgot that I was using a different disc.
The first time I touched it, I kind of did notice the little intricacies that were different, but after playing with that first day, I was used to it quickly, and it's really not all that different to me.
It holds well. It requires a little bit more effort and power.
I wouldn't say it's any easier or harder to catch. It's pretty similar.
Catching it, especially with gloves, haven't found hardly any difference.
Yesterday I was using Discraft, and Discraft felt small. It felt fragile. I didn't feel like I was able to push this thing nearly as far as I can with this Frisbee.
Right now, I've been using the Innova all season, so it's feels very comfortable. But after using a Discraft for a long time, is also very familiar, so at this point I don't have a clear preference one or the other.
So there you have it. Common themes running through most of the testimonials. It's a deeper rim, it feels a little bigger overall, and it holds its line a little better than the Discraft. Now the real question is it worth adding to your collection? I think, yeah, it's fun, it's different, it's new, so why not pick one up and just try it out, see if you like it. They're a little steeper price-wise. The MLU and Innova are charging you $17.99 online just to buy one. The price goes down if you buy more than one, obviously. They come in pretty cool designs like this one. I actually really like the way this one looks, as well as your favorite MLU team logo. Now, I've seen them at Stags games for $12. I imagine they're probably about the same at all the other venues. So if you're only mildly interested in trying one of these out, I would suggest getting them at the games. So I say pick one up, try it out. And remember to throw every day, either with a Discraft or one of these guys. They're just as good. Contributing to Skide Magazine, I'm Gil McIntire.